You read the books. You watch the videos. You know what you are supposed to do. You know you should wake up early, train your body, do the hard work. You know the rules of the game. And yet, every morning, you lose the same silent war against yourself. You hit the snooze button. You choose comfort over discipline. You surrender to your own weakness. You think your greatest enemy is out there, the system, your competition, bad luck. Niccolò Machiavelli, a man who mastered the art of conquest, would tell you that you are a fool. Your greatest enemy is not out there. He is inside you, and it is time to go to war. Think about the promises you break, the promises you make to yourself in the dead of night, filled with inspiration. Tomorrow, I will change. And then tomorrow comes, and the man who made the promise is a ghost. He has been replaced by a weaker, more familiar version of you, the one who craves comfort, the one who fears discomfort, the one who negotiates with mediocrity. This gap between the man you want to be and the man you are every day is the source of all your private shame. It is a quiet, grinding self-betrayal that erodes your self-respect, minute by minute, day by day. You know the strategies, but you lack the will to execute them. Why? Because you have been taught to treat yourself with kindness, with compassion, with understanding. You have been told to be a gentle friend to yourself. But Machiavelli's ruthless logic reveals the truth. You cannot befriend a kingdom in chaos. You must first conquer it. He wrote the ultimate guide to controlling a rebellious state. That state is your own mind. Today, we are going to take Machiavelli's The Prince and apply its forbidden lessons not to a country, but to the most important territory you will ever rule, yourself. This is not self-help. This is self-conquest. To conquer yourself, you must first stop thinking of yourself as a single, unified person. This is a comforting illusion. The truth is, your mind is a kingdom populated by a multitude of rebellious factions. There is the faction of fear, which screams at you to stay safe. There is the faction of sloth, which whispers the sweet poison of comfort. There is the faction of appetite, which demands instant gratification. And then there is you, the prince, the conscious will, the part of you that has a vision for the kingdom. For most of your life, you have been a weak prince. You have tried to rule through negotiation, through pleading, through hope. You have allowed these rebellious factions to run wild, to dictate your actions, to burn your kingdom to the ground. Your self-sabotage is not a mystery. It is a political problem. Your inner state is in a state of civil war, and there is only one way to restore order. You must become a Machiavellian prince of your own psyche. You must be willing to do what is necessary, not what feels good. This requires mastering 3 fundamental laws of inner statecraft. The first law is that your emotions are rebellious subjects, not wise counselors. Society tells you to trust your feelings, to follow your heart. This is the advice of a fool. Your feelings are not you. They are ancient, primal, and often stupid forces that care about one thing only: short-term survival and comfort. Your fear wants you to stay in your comfort zone. Your desires want you to eat the cake. Your anger wants you to say the thing that will destroy your relationship. To follow your feelings blindly is to hand the crown of your kingdom to an angry, fearful mob. A Machiavellian prince does not listen to the mob. He manages it. He understands that emotions are data, not directives. When you feel fear, you do not obey it. You interrogate it. Fear, I see you. What are you trying to protect me from? Is this a real threat or just a ghost from the past? When you feel the pull of instant gratification, you do not surrender. You impose a tax on it. Desire, I hear you. You can have the cake. But first, we will do the hard work. First, we will earn it. You are not suppressing your emotions. You are putting them in their proper place. They are your subjects, not your king. You are the one who rules. Machiavelli understood that a kingdom ruled by emotion is a kingdom that will soon be conquered. The same is true for the individual. The man who is a slave to his temper, his anxiety, or his appetites will never build anything of value. He is too busy putting out the fires that his own inner mob starts every single day. The first step to self-conquest is to declare your independence from the tyranny of your own feelings. You are the prince. They are the people. You lead, they follow. And if they rebel, you must be prepared to be ruthless. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Niccolò Machiavelli. The second law is that fear and reward are your scepter and your sword. Machiavelli taught that a prince must control his subjects through a careful balance of fear and love, or reward. Too much love, and the people become entitled and stop respecting you. Too much fear, and they become resentful and plot rebellion. The art of rule is in the balance. This same law applies to the kingdom of your own mind. You have been trying to motivate yourself with love alone. You make promises to yourself. You set exciting goals. You visualize success. This is all love. It feels good. But it is not enough. Because the rebellious factions in your mind do not respond to love alone. They also need to respect and even fear the consequences of disobedience. This is the fear part you have been missing. This is not about self-hatred. It is about consequence management. You must become the ruthless enforcer of your own laws. When you make a promise to yourself to wake up at 6 a.m. and you fail, what is the consequence? For most people, it is nothing. A brief pang of guilt, and then they forget. This teaches your inner factions that your laws are a joke, that the prince has no real power. The Machiavellian strategist does the opposite. He establishes clear, unavoidable consequences for failure. If I do not go to the gym today, there will be no Netflix tonight. If I do not finish this chapter, there will be no dessert. These are not punishments. They are contracts. You are teaching your own psyche, through cold repetition, that the prince's word is law, and that there is a price for rebellion. Simultaneously, you must be generous with rewards. When you keep your promise, when you win the daily battle, you must reward that behavior. Not with a massive feast that undoes all your progress, but with a small, strategic acknowledgement of a job well done, a moment of peace, an episode of a show you love. You are acting as a wise ruler. You are showing your inner subjects that obedience leads to pleasure, and rebellion leads to pain. Over time, This is how you build a disciplined, orderly, and powerful inner state. You are not forcing yourself with willpower. You are training yourself with the ancient, unbreakable logic of consequence. The third and most brutal law is that your weaknesses are enemy states, and war is the natural condition. You have been taught to be kind to yourself, to accept your flaws. This is the modern gospel of self-help, a philosophy designed for comfort, not for greatness. Machiavelli would laugh at this. He would tell you that to accept a weakness is to invite an invasion. Your weaknesses, your laziness, your procrastination, your lack of discipline are not cute quirks of your personality. They are rebellious provinces within your kingdom. They are enemy states that drain your resources, undermine your authority, and plot your downfall. You cannot make peace with these states. You cannot negotiate with them. You must wage a relentless, methodical, and merciless war against them. This is the great work of self-conquest. As Machiavelli wrote of conquering a new territory, you must either caress or annihilate them. When you decide to conquer a weakness, you must do so with overwhelming force and absolute commitment. Let's take procrastination. The naive man tries to stop procrastinating. He hopes he will feel more motivated tomorrow. He makes a half-hearted attempt, fails, and then retreats into guilt, which only fuels more procrastination. The Machiavellian strategist declares war. He does not wait for motivation. He creates a system. He sets a clear, non-negotiable schedule. He eliminates all distractions, ruthlessly cutting off access to his phone, to social media, to any avenue of escape. He uses the law of fear and reward, establishing clear consequences for inaction and clear rewards for action. He does not negotiate with the voice in his head that says, "Just 5 more minutes." He treats that voice as an enemy spy, and he silences it. This is not a temporary battle. This is a permanent state of vigilance. The prince is never truly at peace, because he knows that the moment he lets his guard down, the rebellious factions will rise again. He understands that discipline is not a one-time decision. It is a daily, moment-to-moment war. It is the conscious choice, again and again, to impose the will of the prince over the chaotic impulses of the mob. It is about understanding that your comfort zone is not a safe harbor. It is the enemy's territory, and your job is to burn it to the ground every single day. Think of the ancient city of Sparta. Was it a nice place? Was it compassionate towards weakness? No, it was a machine designed for one purpose: to forge unbreakable warriors. The Spartans understood the Machiavellian truth, that hardness is a choice, that strength is a daily practice, that the war against the self is the only war that truly matters. Because once you have conquered the kingdom within, the kingdoms of the outside world become far, far easier to master. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. Niccolò Machiavelli. So you see the forbidden code. Your emotions are not your guides. They are your rebellious subjects. Your motivation is not a feeling to be waited for. It is a system of fear and reward to be engineered. And your weaknesses are not flaws to be accepted. They are enemy states to be conquered. You have been trying to improve yourself using the tools of a therapist's kindness, acceptance, understanding. But self-sabotage is not a psychological problem that needs to be understood. It is a political problem that needs to be solved. Your inner world is a state that has been overthrown by rebels. And you do not reason with rebels. You crush them. The secret to self-control is to stop being a friend to yourself and start being a prince. A wise, strategic, and when necessary, absolutely ruthless ruler of your own soul. So how do you begin this self-conquest? This is not about grand gestures. It is about small daily acts of war that accumulate into a total victory. First, identify your primary enemy. For the next week, be a spy in your own kingdom. Observe your behavior with cold detachment. What is the one weakness, the one rebellious faction that causes you the most damage? Is it procrastination? Is it your temper? Is it your addiction to comfort? You cannot fight a war on all fronts at once. A wise prince focuses his forces. Name your primary enemy. Write it down. This is your target. Second, write your laws of war. Now that you have a target, you must establish the non-negotiable laws for this campaign. Do not make them vague. Make them brutally specific. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., my phone will be in another room. This is the law. When I feel the urge to react with anger, I will take a mandatory 5-minute walk. This is the law. I will go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, even if I am tired. This is the law. These are not goals. They are royal decrees. Third, appoint your inner general consequences. A law without an enforcer is just a suggestion. You must now establish the consequences. Be your own ruthless general. If I break the phone law, I lose the privilege of watching my favorite show tonight. If I break the gym law, I must do it the next morning, no matter what. The consequence must be immediate, certain, and slightly painful. You are training your psyche like a dog. You are using the ancient, unbreakable logic of conditioning. You are making the pain of indiscipline greater than the pain of discipline. You have been given the Forbidden's blueprint, the Machiavellian code for self-conquest. You now understand that your inner world is not a peaceful garden to be nurtured. It is a treacherous kingdom to be ruled. You see that your feelings are not guides, but subjects. That your weaknesses are not flaws, but enemies. And that you are not a passive observer of your own life. You are the prince, the sovereign, the ultimate authority. What you do with this knowledge will define the rest of your life. You can retreat back into the comfortable lie of modern self-help. You can go back to being a friend to your own weaknesses. You can continue to negotiate with the terrorists inside your own mind, hoping they will one day be nice to you. Or you can claim your throne. You can accept the brutal, beautiful responsibility of absolute self-rule. You can use this knowledge to wage a quiet, daily, and victorious war against your own lesser self. You can become the architect of your own character, the forger of your own soul. The ultimate power is not in conquering cities or commanding armies. It is in the quiet, unshakable mastery of the kingdom within. The man who has conquered himself cannot be conquered by anything. The world does not need another man who understands his feelings. It needs a man who commands them. The world does not need another man who accepts his weaknesses. It needs a man who conquers them. The world does not need another nice man. It needs a prince. If this message has resonated with you, if you are tired of being a slave to your own impulses, if you are ready to stop being a subject and start being a sovereign, then make your declaration. Join the men and women who are choosing to rule. Go to the comments and declare your ascension. Write, "I am the prince of my own soul." It is a declaration of your new authority, a commitment to the great internal war. Subscribe to the Thinker's Codex. Your conquest has just begun.